Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Shifting Perspectives, the Baja Beach Wellness Diaries podcast. I'm Wendy, your host. Today we have Amy and Angela and Bridget joining us. So today's conversation is an important one because it is about telling the truth. Not the kind of truth that's loud and dramatic, but the kind that is steady, grounded, and rooting in integrity. The kind that leaders carry when it would be easier to just stay quiet. With honesty, it's not always convenient, but it is definitely necessary. We're going to talk about why truth matters in leadership, in business, and in life. How integrity isn't just about doing the right thing when people are watching, but about honoring your values when the stakes are high and the path forward isn't exactly clear. This episode isn't about calling anyone out. It's about calling ourselves up, about what it means to lead with clarity and courage and responsibility, and how truth, when handed thoughtfully, can be stabilizing force rather than a disruptive one. So if you've ever found yourself navigating a moment when staying silent felt a lot safer than telling the truth, but speaking out and being honest felt like the right thing to do, this conversation is definitely for you. So let's dive into it. Okay, Bridget, I know that we discussed in our first podcast, I believe it was, how your career started, in the history in the first episode. So tell us again how you started in this industry and, got your career lifted off here with Baja.
Yeah. Well, Amy actually interviewed me sitting right over here. I came right from my Catholic school uniform, right over to Sinking Spring, Baja, and interviewed in number 17. But I really fell in love with the tanning industry right away. And that was really because I could see the way that what the services we provided and the experience that we were providing people really made people feel better. So I dove right in. In 2016, I became a business partner after managing the stores and running the company with Amy for a long time. And after 5 years of a partnership, I bought the whole business in October of 2020, and I've been running the company myself ever since, with you lovely ladies around me. So it has been a whirlwind to jump into the wellness industry and really see how our salons have taken off with adding some of the equipment and just the new rebrand, that we've done for our wellness centers here in Berks County. So it's been great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I see you got a whistle around your neck
I
today.
do. I won't blow it out. Okay. Ears.
So, in your own words, what is a whistleblower and, how are they important to our society today?
So a whistleblower is somebody who stands up and says, hey, something is wrong here. And that is so important to society, because if we stay silent when we see something that's wrong, it can never be corrected. So for me, it's a little bit of a lineage thing as well. My grandfather was actually a whistleblower in the Great Electrical Conspiracy of the 1950s, which has protected a lot of people since. That was a big case. But I very much pride myself on honesty and integrity, and know that it's very important that when you find something wrong that could be affecting anyone, other people negatively, hurting other people, you have to stand up and say something. It's part of your ethical responsibility. So the whistleblower is the one who puts themselves in a vulnerable position and says, hey, I'll be the one to go ahead and stand up and say, there's a problem here.
Yeah. So as a leader, who do you feel responsible for protecting here?
Obviously, first and foremost, as a business owner, you have to protect your business. And you always have to do whatever it takes to do that. However, I feel as a leader in our industry, as a leader in the community, I have a responsibility to my industry peers, to the community, to always stand up if I see something that's not ethically right, or something that, it warrants, other people to get their eyes on it. I'm always going to be the one that's going to stand up and do the right thing.
Yeah. So tell me what truth feels like. Heavy?
Wow. I mean, the truth can be really heavy sometimes. It can be ugly. It can be something that you don't want to see or don't want to look at because the reality might be terrifying. But what's liberating about it is when we all look at the truth and acknowledge, what's really going on with transparency. That's really the key word here, transparency. When I took over my company in 2020, I knew what kind of leader I wanted to be. I knew that I've seen other ways of leading that don't involve full transparency. And I knew that couldn't be me. I knew, even though I didn't know my grandfather was a whistleblower until a couple weeks ago, I knew that my grandfather always has conducted himself. He's the most successful person I know, with such honesty, integrity, and humility. And I knew that I wanted to be that same kind of leader and bring that to my team and to my community. And I'm honored to do so.
Yeah. Team, do you have anything to add to that? Now that you're under Bridget's wing here,
I worked in for corporate industries and also small businesses, and me personally, I feel as though transparency from in the workplace situation, I believe it like comforts the employees. The more transparency, the more they feel valued and they have a little bit of insight of what is going and why. A lot of people these days want to know why. We get that question, and it's a great question. Whereas before it was, whether it was from our parents or our boss, it's like, well, this is just the way that it is. It's black and white.
Sure.
Well, that's a managerial, strategy of running a company. And it's actually very off-putting, these days. I know we've all come from that side and now we are in greener pastures, of course. But yes, I believe that truth and transparency, makes the employees feel valued and comfortable in their position, and comfortable in their employment as well.
Yeah.
And the why fosters purpose. Because if you're transparent and you explain to people the why, they're going to understand your purpose behind it more. And it's going to make anybody want to, hear what you have to say, listen to you, or want to follow your lead if you're being open and honest in all of your communication.
Yeah. I think it's also important because then your employees care more about your business, more than just doing their job and getting that paycheck, and the more the employee cares about the place that they're working for, the more they're going to put into it as well and respect the leadership.
I think it also helps the employee to learn about how business works, where a lot of people, who might come into the workforce, especially younger people, don't really understand, a lot of different things that might happen with, different branches of business. And I feel like that also makes them, care and respect your business more when they understand how like the inner workings are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And there's a big difference between why and what. I'm a fan of Simon Sinek. I don't know if anyone has read his book, Finding Your Why. But a lot of companies that fail or aren't as successful is because they say, well, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. And this is why. If you reverse that and companies or leaders have their why, this is why we're doing it. This is how we're going to do it. And this is what the outcome is going to be. It can completely shift the culture, the outcome, the vision, the mission. I mean, just the overall success of the company. So yeah
for sure. So sometimes truth makes people uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd that show up?
Well, I think it shows up in a lot of people having a lot of opinions, and a lot of people having a lot of things to say. When you put yourself in the position to be the one who's coming out and telling the truth, some people might want to say, oh, what does she know? Like, what is, what I mean? How are you qualified to, come out and show people the truth? Because it does make a lot of people uncomfortable. It makes people question a lot of things, but that is so, it's important. The discomfort doesn't bother me. I mean, I could honestly care less about putting myself in that position, because when you have the truth behind you, you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing to stress about. And I know I won't sleep at night if I withhold information or I'm not that transparent person because I truly know that I'm on this earth to conduct myself this way, to help my business, to help my community, to help my industry, and to just help take everybody get everybody where they need to go.
Yeah. And I love that. It's not just about your company. It's also, you care about the whole industry.
Absolutely.
Because this is your life. This is your baby.
I've been in this since I was 16. That's all I know. And I loved it right away. And it's in my heart. So once you have that ingrained in you, there's nothing that's going to be able to turn it off.
Yeah, love that. So, some people will say, oh, you're just trying to stir up drama. What's the difference between drama and truth? How do you filter that out?
Well, listen, drama can be created by truth. Okay. Truth a lot of times does create drama because it creates a lot of people talking, or it creates people questioning, or, sometimes you have to put on a little show to get people to notice what's going on. And I love doing that. I'm not going to lie. I have fun with it, but, you gotta have fun. If we're not having fun, what are we doing, guys? But, the difference between drama and truth is truth can't be denied. Truth is visible. Truth is, at the end of the day, truth trumps everything. So, it's sometimes I guess you have to weed through the drama and some of the yipping and yapping to get to the truth. But, again, I'm okay being the person that helps lead people through that, and I'll make it entertaining in the process. So, yeah.
Love that. So if we have other business owners listening, if there's something feeling off, what would you advise they start to pay attention to?
If something feels off, do your research. Make sure you're correct. Document everything. That's one thing I always tell Amy, I've never deleted an email since 2012. So I'm a what do you call it? A vault.
She has big Gmail storage.
I pay for it every month. Yeah. But hey, it's worth it. Listen, what was the question? I don't even know. So business owner, if you find something off, research, investigate, make sure you're correct in what you're saying. And that's also something I would never put myself out there unless I was 100% certain and confident in what I was saying. So, I think it's really important to be able to do that and to go with your gut if you realize something's wrong. If I've learned one thing, and I think this is really important for female business owners, a lot of people want to put us in this category like, sit down, little girl, what do you know? And I learned that from a really, really early age. And a lot of times I sat down, but now I'm at the point in my life and my career that I don't sit down anymore. I'll be the one standing up, because I do know what I'm talking about. And I'm very confident in that. And, again, if you're a business owner that realizes something feels off, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your community. You owe it to your industry. You owe it to, everybody to do the right thing and to get to the next step. And that's what I want to be, the person that will help anybody get to that next step if they're not sure how to navigate a situation, because life is confusing. There's a lot of, people will try to scare you. People will try to intimidate you. And, it's all, really, but no, it's important to always listen to your gut if you feel something's not right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, little sidestep there, you talked about, women in business. I think that you, Angela, could probably I know you've talked a little bit about that, like being kind of in a man's world. And, there probably are women business owners or women that are in that, just sidestep a little bit and talk about that,
being in a man's world.
Yeah.
Breaking
that barrier.
It's unfortunate because women are looked at as very emotional, and we are. There's no doubt about that. And that's okay. Some of the best women leaders do lead with emotion, as long as it's directed in like a positive way. Like, hey, I feel this, like you were talking about, I need to act on that. If you're, shooting from the hip, okay, which I've done, in my previous corporate life, especially with women, that is not a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
And I always used to say, well, don't, confuse my frustration with my passion, which a lot of it was coming from passion. But, unfortunately, and I think things are progressing in a more positive way for women, but you do gotta work harder. You have to have the grit. You gotta, unfortunately, put in your dues. You gotta be put through the grind. And that's what happened with me. And once I look back, and yeah, it was a lot more work. I wasn't getting paid what my male counterparts were. That's fine. But I gained a lot of experience, and it taught me a lot with work ethic and the grind. But then also too, looking on it on a flip side, I developed this hustler mentality, and that's great and it's good. But sometimes being too much of a hustler, you become burnt out and you start to lose sight of what's important and what to focus on. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and you definitely do get the confidence.
Yeah.
And when you have the confidence, you're unstoppable. And then you're breaking numbers, breaking records, and, so it's a good thing.
Breaking ceilings.
Breaking
ceilings.
What do they call it? The glass ceiling or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got anything to add to that?
I think it's just interesting because, if you cruise around social media right now, there's a lot of talk about how much the world is changing. And I don't want this to be a man hating, because I love men.
We all love men.
We all love
I really love men.
Because it isn't that at all. But I do feel like it's a very interesting societal change, because women don't need men so much. Mm-hmm. Women were strapped to men, especially the marriage thing, because they needed them financially. And now the way society is evolving, women are making their own money. Women don't need, literally, we are in relationships because we want to be in a relationship because they're a good person, and not because we need them. And I feel like that is like a little irritating for the sit down little girl folks. And
100%. Because I have to say too, like, even with my husband, that's the one person that I can get into my feminine with, right? I'm a very strong woman. I don't need anybody, but he also helps me turn on the TV sometimes, because sometimes I don't really know how to do that. No, but I'm very much like, I could figure it out, but I like to be in my feminine with him. Like, I like to let him take the reins. I enjoy that. And every woman deserves to have that feeling of being taken care of. But just like you said, Amy, we're realizing that we're stronger and much different than we were however many years ago, when it was like, oh, well, you need a man to survive and your place is in the kitchen. We are so far from that. So it's good. It's shifting into a better perspective. Definitely. Pull it all together.
And Bridget knows, like, my pet peeve since the beginning of my career is the sit down little girl types, because I've dealt with them so much over the years, and it's just, it's very refreshing to see how that is like going away a little bit now. Sometimes you have to like beat it down with that, but
we're the ones driving the bus now.
And it's better, like, because it is like, the more people realize, if we all just collaborate with each other, it doesn't matter if you're a girl, it doesn't matter if you're a man, like, it doesn't matter. It's all about just getting the job done.
Yeah, for sure. So why are clarity and transparency so important?
You can't move forward in a what's a good word I was looking for? You can't traffic in falsehoods. You can't move up to the next level in lies. You can't keep going with lies. So transparency and honesty is the only way to go. There's no other way.
All right.
And the the wheels of justice, sometimes they turn a little slowly, but truth is always revealed in the end.
Do we have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
All right.
Short and sweet this
Short
week.
and sweet.
Yes.
Love it.
And we're
Love
taking
it.
a little break. So it's
We
the
are.
holidays. Just letting you guys know. This is episode 16.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Holy
Sweet
crap.
16.
Sweet 16. Yes. So
We
we're
can
taking
drive.
a little break.
Little break.
We can drive the
We
bus.
can drive the
That's
bus
right.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. But we're taking a little break, so catch up on all 16 episodes over the holidays. And we're filming again on the 7th, I believe. So we'll release a new
January
episode
7th.
on the
Yep.
12th.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So if something doesn't make sense, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Be curious, be brave, ask questions, dive into things. We said, check out our app, YouTube, share it. Check out All Things Baja, and we will catch you January 7th with a new episode.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.